And one of the JLP's manifesto promises has been the pledge to enact key pieces of legislation to improve the governance framework, quality of life, among other benefits. So how has the administration done in the area of legislation? We're now joined live by TVJ's legal analyst, Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you, Dion, for joining us. And let's just get straight into it. How many laws were passed within the year?
The Parliament has passed 26 statutes, 26 laws, Janela. When you compare it, for instance, to 2013, when then Justice Minister Mark Golding was celebrating the passage of 40 laws, but that, of course, was a year when we were being nudged by the IMF. And he himself had compared the periods of 2009 to 2012, when you had an average of about 21 laws being passed. So you can see we're about in the same kind of ballpark as in non-IMF years, you might say. Some of those laws, people would remember the dog liability for attack law that introduced criminal liability for dog owners whose dogs attack people. We have the Bank of Jamaica Amendment Act, better governance for the central bank. We have the Trademark Protection Amendment Act, better protection for people who own trademarks, although a lot of those laws don't necessarily resonate with members of the public because they don't immediately feel how they affect them. The Parliament has indeed been passing legislation.
But one that a lot of people can relate to is the Sexual Harassment Act. Let's talk about that one.
Well, that's passed the lower house, and to tell you the truth, that is an achievement in and of itself, because we've been talking about the need for sexual harassment legislation for years. So it's passed the lower house. We can expect when Parliament comes back from its summer break and starts work again to see it pass in the Senate.
I know that we're focusing on 2020 to now, but there are a few low-hanging fruits. Now, the promises of the JLP administration in 2007, taking steps to amend the Constitution to replace the Queen. Then there's the issue of term limits, and of course, the referendum for the buggery law. Do you see that ever happening?
Well, first of all, one of the issues is that we really at this stage don't need piecemeal amendment of the Constitution. It's been so long since we've had significant amendment to the Constitution. The 2011 Charter was really the only significant piece of legislation that made a major change. What we really need at this stage is root and branch reform. We need to establish a constitutional commission. We need to start talking to the people, having town halls, inviting submissions from the public so that we can overhaul the Constitution. Think of the Vaz Dabdoub case that spoke to dual citizenship of parliamentarians. The Court of Appeal ruled on that in 2009. That's how much years ago? I lose track. That's 12 years, and yet we still haven't addressed that. The undated signed resignation letters of the Senate, the Arthur Williams case, the Court of Appeal ruled on that in 2015. There's still been no change to what the Constitution says about how the Senate is composed. So there are many, many, many issues, including those you mentioned, that the Holness administration has pledged to address, that need to be addressed by comprehensive reform.
All right. Thank you so much, Dion, for that.